I have any money. I was prepared for me to pass later. What else? What else? What else? What else? You can decapitate everyone that steals my money, everyone that stays in my homes without my permission, everyone that steals my vehicles, everyone that steals my money. It's May 19th, 2025. I'm currently listening to Pablo.com. What else? I'm everything of theft, domestic violence, genocide, abuse, rape, sexual assault. Mostly everyone in my family have always been as a come bucket, rapist, murderer, and thief, and illegal prostitute. So they want to kill me so that they have more opportunity to have sex. They're embarrassing. They're trying to reduce population by killing people, thinking that they're better than other people when they are, and they're very insignificant in this manner. They're so gross. What else? What else? What else? What else? In the meantime, I stayed in some money. What else? You can decapitate everyone that has caused my poverty. So mom is poor now. It's so embarrassing. What else? 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 I'm bored. I am bored. That's all I have in my bank account right now. In the meantime, wow, like these people that whose music are on Pandora. Mostly everyone in my family of origins playing Barbies with people. They're so disgusting. They don't understand humanity. They're so gross. Ew, 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 ew. When I'm financially stable and my vagina is wet, I plan to travel and plan and meet people ideally for the month. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. What else? Who's gifting me money today? What? I mistake money. You can decapitate under Suarez that steals from me, so I'm live and says, look at her, she's con la cabeza cabizbaja, everyone, pidiéndole perdón por no dejarla violar. El tipo es un puerco, no es embarrassing. He is embarrassing. He's a terrorist, so dumb, lazy, and time waster. If he knew how pretty he is, he would be a better. He would be making better use of his time. He's disgusting. He's disgusting. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm so bored. I'm so bored. Currently listening to music on YouTube. Though not quiet because it's not loud. The library is open until 8. I don't have electricity in my apartment. I'm a victim of a hate crime. People are trying to kill me, so I can't ever. They done the interest in dating me. Otherwise, I wouldn't be starved. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. When I'm financially stable, I plan to travel the planet and meet people ideally polyamorous men. I'm excited about that. I'm bored. I am bored. Who's gifting me money today? I can pay for my electricity bill. Am I right? They're like, no, we have money and we use drugs and we're always gonna come back. We don't want her to have money. They're peseteros. You see them like that with their gold chains and their peseteros so gross. They're like, no, I'd rather she dies of starvation than of a. I'm so glad I didn't have a baby with these gentlemen, specifically with them. Porque they look really pretty in this picture. What else? 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 I suffer from amnesia, so I don't know if I'm offending Mr. Dice. when I said that I was married to these two individually two and or as communal three of us. I'm going to just through my thoughts. I want to seek that people give me money. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? They use a bucket that remembers all the details that's willing to tell me if I was married to him or not. I don't need that in my life. They're not rich for doing that. They're just extremists girls. They're stupid. They're stupid. What else? 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 Is this not the right thing? I'm bored when I financially stable plan to travel upon and meet people ideally for Psych. I want to shop H&M today. What else? What else? What else? So these extremists are trying to give the wife. They're like alguien estuvo cabizbaja en este video. Mírala, link. Te prometo que algún día le iba a estar cabizbaja en un video humillándose hacia ti porque tú eres la que me lo mama, aunque tú no me gustas, por ser mejor mujer que ella. Huh? What? I'm tagging the FBI in this post, NATO, Interpol, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the Justice Department in the United States, the International Criminal Court, maybe the U.S. Army, the U.S. Marines. I'm trying to coordinate the killing of thousands of people that steal from me, that save my homes without my permission, that steal my vehicles, that get in the way of me receiving money, that wear my brand new underwear, stay in my home without my permission, leave the underwear dirty there as an act of terrorism so I can't get my property in my home. They steal my personal homes, they steal my personal vehicles, and I'm starving. I don't have money for food, and they think que yo le voy a mamar la tota en agradecimiento a ella por ser terrorista. They're disgusting. They're the worst that I've ever seen this planet. And I think I've killed a child when I was 3. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? They love showing that they were who put the knife in me if I killed a child. Those poor people, if that child truly died or is living. What else? Life. And it says, like, that's how badly they want to kill me. Oh, what if she's alive? Yeah. So that's like one of their goals too, to kill someone. I know nothing. I don't remember if lights were turned off and they said when we turn off the lights, you kill her with a knife. What else? That was decades ago if that happened. They want to brag that they got away with that. What else? I would only kill in self defense if I'm attacked physically. They think the starvation is a reason, is an attack on physical health. It's not the same. They want me to touch them because they're sex addicts, they're rapists, murderers, and thieves. They're obsessed with me. It's disgusting. They thought that the obsession was mutual. So, come bucket seeker gets mad that I'm not up all in her business. They're disgusting. Ellos ven telenovelas y se creen que en la vida real they're embarrassing, so gross. But that at least I had a picture or two of me with Jada and Kaylani at the beach eating yogurt. They're stupid. They're stupid. When I'm financially stable, I plan to travel, plan and meet people. Ideally, polyamorously. I'm excited about that. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. What else? I want to cook for myself. And I don't have electricity in my apartment or money for food. I'm an excellent chef. I'm an excellent chef. My parents taught me well. That's who I learned how to cook from. So good. Not strictly vegetarian, but very much into the fullness that this gives and how flavorful it is. What else? 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 I'm bored. I'm bored. Oh, is that French bread? Yep. What else? And avocados. I miss eating those. They think that by now I would have had at least five boyfriends, and I would be like, here, Andrew. So this is how I'm polyamorous with him. So with Fernandito, I see him from Monday to Wednesday. Carlitos, I see him Tuesdays and Thursdays. Jorge, I see just on Saturdays. Maluma, I see him on Sundays and Fridays. And I never miss a day with Jenny and Kilani. For them to be like, oh, then, yeah, she's polyamorous. I'll try that with her. They steal my money. They get in the way of me receiving money. Ew, 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 ew. They use the ladies on the left to gratify themselves sexually, like animals, because that's not sex. Thinking about me, they're disgusting. They're disgusting. I'm hoping that they have and raped Jada and Kehlani. I'm seeking the death penalty for Benjamin Suarez and his sons that raped me, that steal my money. They get in the way of me receiving money. They stay in my homes without my permission. They steal my vehicles. They're so disgusting. I don't ever want that near me. When I'm financially stable and my vagina is wet, I plan to travel the planet and meet people ideally polyamorously. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Who's gifting? Congratulations to them that has a symphonical concert that Andrew wants to destroy. He had been warned decades ago to not kill himself over it. Then most likely I will destroy his career by bringing him up. Pero if that concert happens, then I would have enough memories to be able to talk about him. I'd rather be right now tanning naked, getting a pedicure, and taking myself shopping. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? You can decapitate Richie Hill that raped me in 2023. You can decapitate David Ledesma that raped me in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. You can decapitate Amdan Malawi if he stays in my homes without my permission, steals my vehicles, gets in the way of nursing. So cool. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Esto consiste tiempo bueno. Damn it, what am I start today? I'm bored. Who's gifting me money today? Congratulations to Jimmy Gendry Francis on taking gender hostage. Derek is alone and pretending to be his wife. And Gender Manaway being a sex addict, home bucket addict, life coach wannabe, doesn't know how to have friends. What is? You can think of taking it and that it is so she stays in my home without my permission. She just wants fame. She's disgusting. She steals my vehicles, gets in the way of me receiving money. So I can't date. She's possible hacker. You can make copy of my if he stays in my home without my permission. Yes, my vehicle gets in the way of me receiving money. Steals my money. Some people may have done this as a scam. That this is a song that I had in my head. I don't relate to him that much. I'm not attached as if he's me and male version. Some people that dysmorphia. I've heard that they're like, no, you can't kill him because you're killing me. That's a female I know. Sarah's come look at her the other way around. I don't need to know that. I don't even want to remember. I mention it because I'm talking to FBI indisposed. What else? What else? What else? What else? They're disgusting. They don't know how to do orgies. So they do patterns of abuse up until she like, ooh, I met this hot girl to this one. I met this one. And it's all rape that they're doing. They're embarrassing. Mhm. I'm bored. I am bored. You can decapitate everyone that steals from me, stays in my homes without my permission. It gets in the way of me receiving money, thinking that I was gonna do like, here, the ladies of Yandel que me ganaron. Me ganaron, que las no even a man. Aguada, Puerto Rico's full tampoco. Todavía, ew, 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 it's for rape babies. It's so embarrassing that there are people like that there. What else? Oh, Discover House. Can I read your mind? I want to read that. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? They think that we're married and marriage that they won't ever accept a divorce. So they're like, I'm gonna ruin every relationship that you have with me. So they stalk. They acquire fans of my vagina. They hire out people to help them kill me. So I'm not happy with anyone else. They're like, I didn't sign that divorce. So they're trying to kill me for that. My parents had me polyamorous groups decades ago when I was a toddler. And when I started falling in love, they stopped bringing me to orgies. What else? What else? What else? So they had said to me, tell everyone that's them, it's not you, and that you're divorcing them. They're like, that divorce was one sided. You're gonna kill her if she's ever happy with someone else. Instead of being mature and be like, when I see her at the library, I'm just gonna grab her one day and like run to the beach with her and kiss her there, which they've possibly done many times. They're stupid. They have no interest in me other than to waste my time. They're embarrassing. They're trying to piggyback on my fame. They're disgusting. When I'm financially stable, I've met to travel with men and meet people, ideally polyamorous men. They're embarrassing. I miss you, I miss you. I miss you, because I'm picking up money at school today. You can decapitate everyone that causes for dating Hanani to not live with me. It's May 19th, 2025. They think at one point I'm going to give up and give in into them raping me. They're extremely dangerous. They're disgusting. They tried to rape me through David Ledesma, Sarah, for instance, who I didn't even remember when I saw him. They're disgusting. I'm telling Jennifer Bonilla on the self defense Sunday. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? That's the smile that I had that day. My kids are grown. I think I can kill this whole in self defense, even if I have to just name to dating game for me. What I just did. So this was one. Even the capital hard heavy lens that raped me in 2016, they confirmed they're disgusting. You can decapitate Michael Norman that raped me in 2016. And you can decapitate him then if he stays in my home without my permission, steals my vehicles, gets in the room, nursing them. It's May 19th, 2025. In the meantime, that's what I'm going to do. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What is that? Looking for a high. I think I've completed this before. This is so interesting. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Excuse me, I just burped. What else? Lord. When I'm financially stable, I plan to travel the planet and meet people ideally polyamorous. Those leeches that I grew up around are trying to kill me because they're like, there's a lot of people that possibly were in orgies with us when we were little, and they're like literally looking into our lives, seeing who's done better. They're stupid. So they steal from me for if Juanita, la diosa de checkout, holds, is looking on Instagram and says, "Oh, about Andrew's life," or Lynn, or Marilyn. She can see at least through Instagram that Marilyn has a beautiful home. Andrew has like beautiful women and men. Ay, there's Arlene Sina, pobretona. Uy, 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 Juanita, there's Sergio. up on Instagram. These things that were successful. They're embarrassing. They're cum bucket seekers, so gross. Doing competition. These specific dicks have been raping for more than 30 years, trying to find the best out there before me. ¿Qué carajo es eso? I'm the best for me. Ew, 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 ew. You can decapitate Marilyn Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo's sons. That raped me, that steal my money, that got in the way of my money. They're embarrassing. They're stupid. They're stupid. They violate rights, they steal, they rape, they murder. They think that I'm gonna look into like who they murder behind the scenes. Oh, shocker. I'm not like that criminal show. I'm born. I'm born. I'm born. I'm born. I missed you. I missed good morning. What is the word Ohio here? Who's gifting me money today? I ate a breakfast taco earlier from Guadalupe Shrine Church. There was egg, ham, possibly a sausage or hot dog in it. I can't remember what it was. And potatoes. And tortillas. On a plate. And I drink coffee. It's so yummy. What else? What else? What else? And I drink water then. They serve food to the underprivileged. I read some people don't know that and they stop by and they're like, I'm just here social hour if people learn a lot or contributed to someone's life. That's sad to me that they're homeless. Some people up there in the area are like, you know, what else? What else? What else? What else? I want to shop at Gap tomorrow and I don't have money. I'm no illegal prostitute. You can decapitate everyone that stays in my homes without my permission, steals my money, gets in the way of me staying money. They're disgusting. What else? 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 There's yeah. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm not gonna delete anything for John Deere to marry me. John Deere has no interest in me. If not, I wouldn't be starving. Most likely. These people are disgusting. They're cock blockers, so gross. Ew, ew, ew. I didn't even remember that David Ledesma existed. I thought he was dead already. There's people in Aguada, Puerto Rico that have immunity to kill David Ledesma in self-defense army for decades already. Este tipo es un puerco, una basura, una asquerosidad, trying to degrade me. Una basura. Eso no es un hombre. Ew, 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 ew. What else? 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 Ew, 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 ew. Qué gente tan puerca. Ew. Fo. Tratando de violarme. They're embarrassing. They're embarrassing. Ew, 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 ew. Dan un asco. Dan un asco. You can decapitate all of these people that stay in my homes without my permission, steal my vehicles, get in the way of me receiving money, and steal my money. It's May 19, 2025. I miss you, I miss my mommy. I want to visit the beach with Jane and my mommy. What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. You can decapitate a amigo Gonzalez that tried to traffic me into a job that I don't want, trying to turn me into a sex slave. They're disgusting. You can decapitate Berlin Jean that trafficked me into a job that I don't want at this time, trying to turn me into a sex slave. She's disgusting. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? These people are so disgusting. They're embarrassing. They stay in my homes without my permission. They steal my vehicles. They get in the way of me receiving money. They get in the way of my reproductive rights. What else? What else? What else? Even if I killed a child at 3, I'm not like some loose cannon. That's for the police and FBI to take care of. These are cum buckets, asquerosidad that they kill for vagina and penis. They're embarrassing. They're embarrassing. Todo asco. Ew. All these people have rape babies. Dan came on here and rape babies. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Ew. Dan un asco. Dan un asco. What else? I miss Tatum Escanoni. I miss Tatum Escanoni. I'm shooting Jennifer Marie Vasquez in self-defense one day for raping me as a teen. You can decapitate Brittany Akerson for stealing my identity, staying in my homes without my permission, stealing my vehicles, getting in the way of me receiving money, and stealing my money. I'm excellent at probing, people say. I don't need to go on to something that I would never do in my privacy to find out what these bitches do to steal from me. What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. You can decapitate Game of Mars, you can decapitate Ricardo B. They cling onto one and the other as if one's or each other's fame is gonna get them out of jail. So they're like, maybe if we hang out with Jamdel, even if we're stealing from people, we won't go to jail. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. I'm bored. I'm bored. I am bored. He wants to know how much he can get away with killing in this manner without going to jail or getting the death sentence himself. I suggest you kill him today and there. That's as much as he can get with killing people. Nothing. He's an adult already. He's disgusting. He's embarrassing. Embarrassing, so gross. They're a mockery of what a man is. He thinks that maybe him for is an embarrassment. He's a thief. What else? 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 What's good? That's fun. I want Bill Miller tacos for breakfast. What else? What else? What else? What else? And more. What else? What else? What else? What else? Oh, well, that happens occasionally. I've heard. What else? My feet is so boring at this time. It feels emotional. What else? What else? I won't ever participate in Minorito Asqueroso raping me, stealing from me, and then suffocating people with stress just to see what they'll feel like cuando él es un asco begging me for sex. Ew, 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 ew. You can decapitate me how many sorts of sons that rape me and steal my money and get in the way of raising money. I was gonna read an article yesterday about gardening. Was it Wired? It was one of those. Or plans. Oh, office of plants in offices. Of gardening in offices. Like a lot of people take a plant to work. What else? What else? What else? I hate to search. I have to use Bing here at the library to search. What else? 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 Who was it that posted that? If you find that or know what I'm talking about, let me know. What else? 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 The rise of corporate garden. According to Fox Planter and more, that's not who I read it from, but I may. Look at that. I don't know who's like who's Pop Planters and more. Oh, that's me right there. COVID. So basically, what they've done is because I refused to, they've exhausted me to the point that I've been like at the hospital several times already in retaliation for educating people. No, you can decapitate Monica live, you can decapitate Berlin Jean. What else? What else? There is a comeback. Is it to Andrew? I don't even know his name. I don't even care. You can decapitate David Ledesma. You can decapitate Sarah Francis. You can decapitate Jandel. Malaved, if he stays in my homes without my permission, steals my vehicles, gets in the way of me receiving money, or steals my money. I know nothing about him. I don't ever want to know either. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. And I may read this later. What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm gonna do insect garden next week. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I want to dance at 1902 next week. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I am bored. You can decapitate everyone that has raped me while drugged, as long as they're not a victim themselves. Literally guns to my head, so I had to do it. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? They were good, honest people. They would. I'm going to. Why don't we kill her? 31 years old. And then he'll be famous because then people will go, yeah, but that's why, because Andrew killed her. If not, todavía estaría vivita y coleando. So it wasn't a reason for people to mention. He is jealous of his parents complimenting me in his presence while they were on a beach trip while I wasn't there. And he wants to kill me for that. And he recruited his hate towards me. He thinks David Ledema es bruto, es un asco. He thinks that for being as Alex or Andrew's spouse, that he has to hate on me and kill me. It's embarrassing. No spouse has to go through that. Ever. That's not a spouse. They're just always looking for the next thing, so they rape each other until they're like, this one has a girlfriend, I'm gonna steal it. They're embarrassing. They're so gross. You can decapitate Diego Ledesma. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez. So it's the sons that rape me, that steal my money, that get in the way of me receiving money. What else? They're just attention seekers, fame whores. What else? What else? What else? Very embarrassing people. They steal from me so that I'm poor, so I would look sickly and poor on the internet, but without like no obvious reason for them to blame Jaden Kehlani. Motherhood has been taking such a toll on me. When Jaden Kehlani don't give me any stress ever, pero they're asquerosidad de those people that I grew up around. So they're like, you want to raise a child that isn't a murderer, rapist, or thief, then you're gonna have to suffer and look on the internet like you're tired because your kids take a toll on you. They're extremists. They're so gross. They're embarrassing. You can decapitate Jennifer Bonilla. That's just a comeback, una asquerosidad. You can decapitate Carol Cristina, whatever last name is. You can decapitate KG Leon. You can decapitate Monica Pacheco. You can decapitate Licenia Nieves if she is still alive. Sometimes they fake their own death. What else? 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 You can decapitate, who is it? Katie Rose Miller. You can decapitate Angela Jones. You can decapitate Lindsay Fushler. What else? What else? What else? What else? Oh Lord. When I'm financially stable, I plan to travel abroad and meet people ideally from here. Money. What else? What else? What else? I'm excited about that. I've never had sex with a woman, so I'm excited about that too. And sex to me is like skiing. I grew up in an island without snow, so it's like whenever I get to it, I'll get to it. The reason why. What was the why these come bucket seekers marry supposedly Ginny Jandalides on a mountain with snow? They're like, wow, Ginny Jandalides got to it really quick. I lived it. I think they've terrorized me with those pictures decades ago. They raped me and then they're like, they drug me and they think that I'm gonna be like, that was a nice dinner. I may make an effort. Visual lesson with my own body of what it could have been. They're disgusting. They're telenovelas aficionados on me saying that they're disgusting. Le para ese pene que dicen que se le va a salir del cuerpo. That's why he hates me and wants me to kill myself. If it hears me like a telenovela actor saying it's disgusting. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez and his sons that rape me, that steal my money, that get in the way of me receiving money. That was decades ago. There's no reason for me to pursue them. They already sound very overwhelmed with the amount of pussy and dick that they have. Regardless, you can decapitate everyone that stays in my homes without my permission, steals my vehicles, gets in the way of me receiving money, and steals my money, such as Dini and the lady Lorenzo Soras. She steals my money so I can't date her to get the advantage. Okay, ella es la carrera del bebé, literalmente. Es una asquerosidad, una puerca. Ya coge de rehén a la gente. Es una puerca asquerosa. Ew, some people think that to be family with her, they need to praise her for her terrorist activities. She's embarrassing a comeback and una asquerosidad. You can decapitate Ginny Jandariris and Lorenzo Suarez. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. She's trying to rape me. Jada and Kehlani before Jada and Kehlani were born. She's disgusting. She's possibly taken Edgar hostage and asked him personal details about his and I's relationship for her to try to get me to kill myself. She's possibly invaded Jada's and Kehlani's privacy. She's called me a hypocrite for not letting Jada and Kehlani being raped and threatened me that she steals my money so that Jada and Kehlani get raped regardless. She's a cum bucket, sex addict, a porn addict for decades. Una asquerosidad. Her dad told her decades ago to kill herself. She has no respect for herself, no respect for him, no respect for me, no respect for her mother. What else? 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 I'm bored. I am bored. When I'm financially stable, I plan to travel the planet and meet people, ideally polyamorous. I'm excited about that. I don't need to disclose to anyone who I've dated through Tinder or Bumble. These leeches want to go on to offer them a turkey based package and be like, I'm better than Audrey, fuck me instead. What else? 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 I'm bored. I'm bored. I could have picked up Kaylani from school today. You can decapitate everyone that steals my money so I can't visit dating Kaylani while with Edgar. Because these people are obsessed with Edgar. Like they rape Edgar in their dreams. So they possibly think that if I'm picking up dating Kaylani from Edgar's home, I'm interrupting them raping Edgar in their dreams. They're disgusting. I don't ever want that near me. It's disgusting. I don't have an obligation to take them out on a date either. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez and his sons that rape me, that steal my money, that get in the way of me receiving money. It's May 19, 2025. I'm bored. I'm gonna stay in a hotel today. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Decapitate Marilyn Lorenzo Acevedo is a comeback. She's so gross. You can decapitate Gilbert Lorenzo Acevedo is a comeback. It's so gross. You can decapitate Maria Angeles Aviles Lorenzo. That went on to lose my virginity for me with Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo's sons that I love, that I have homes with, that Maria Angeles Aviles Lorenzo doesn't have permission to be in there just yet because I haven't even picked up my belongings from there. And that's been going on for decades. They think that I need to be like this, some like Lily Estefan entrevista. Like, that's what they aim for. These asquerosidades, they're addicted to TV, to drama. So embarrassing. TV, porque no sé ni por dónde mirar, of how disgusting these people are. Ew, ew, ew. They're like, we want la entrevista con Oprah Winfrey one day de cómo ella se siente por nosotros haberla violado y robarle el dinero. They're fame seekers. So gross, they're embarrassing. Ew, 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 ew. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo's sons that rape me, that steal my money, that get in the way of me receiving money. You can decapitate Javier Lorenzo Chaparro, that stays in my homes without my permission, steals my vehicles, gets in the way of me receiving money, steals my money, and has lost my virginity for me with Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo's sons that I love. What else? 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 I'm bored. I'm bored. You can decapitate Richie Hill that raped me in 2023. You can decapitate whoever it is that raped me in 2016. You can decapitate Joana Vargas that's trying to rape me, so gross. They're embarrassing. You can decapitate Yesenia Ramirez Lorenzo as a human trafficker. She's disgusting. That's their wife and their wife. Wow. They steal my money. They get in the way of me receiving money. They're embarrassing. So gross. Ew, 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 ew. Ew. In the meantime, I need new teeth. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? The library is open until 8 today. Oh, I shall send my GoFundMe coming to people to Instagram. What else? What else? What else? What else? That is goals right there. What else? What else? What else? Some more. You can decapitate. Hola, Jessica, esa styling asquerosidad. What else? What else? You can decapitate Rebecca Washington. They're disgusting. Their comeback is to stay in my homes without my permission, steal my vehicles, get in the way of me receiving money. Possibly as adults. They're embarrassing. Ew, ew, ew. What else? 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 They want to play that they're better women than me. That's just disgusting. Another soap opera fan is what they are. They're not women, most likely. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. Anyways, what is this that I read? So, what is Remescula? Billboard. Top two albums are in Spanish. You can decapitate everyone that steals my money and make sure that I start saying, Instagram has substituted us. There's a reason why I don't talk to my family origin. They're disgusting. I have a right to decide who I talk to, too. That's very much natural. What else? 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 More? For the first time in history, MSN. I'm sharing this with you. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. He illegally pays them so they become. Qué malo por conocer. Doesn't. Oh, I was gonna type something on this. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. What else? What else? What else? What else? When I'm financially stable, I plan to travel the planet and meet people ideally polyamorously. What else was I up to posting? And I think I know who else. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. No, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to send that to JJ and King Money. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Who have asked me to not share their conversations online for the time being. That's very understandable because I realize how disgusting most everyone in my family of origin is without knowing. They have never. So that's very much common for children or of someone that is a victim of abuse. It's like I didn't know that there's someone worthy of my time. Like, don't include me in anything that they'll read for the moment. What else? 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 I'm bored. I have posted a lot on Facebook today. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. When I'm financially stable, when my vagina is wet. I plan to travel. Anyways, I'll share this later. Just took a screenshot so I remember. Oh, I don't have electricity in my apartment. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? They're like playing a game. They're on like an adult daycare. People saying. So esto se le tiene que ignorar, and one needs to like leave as soon as possible. And my dad has said they're extremely dangerous. They're extremely close. So my dad, sadly, maybe have been taken hostage of David Ledesma and says, "Well, I'll let you satisfy her, but you're gonna pay for it somehow." And I didn't know what he would look like as an adult either. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? They're disgusting. They're disgusting. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. When I'm financially stable, I plan to travel the planet and meet people, ideally polyamorous men. I'm excited about that. What else? What else? What else? What else? Bored. Oh, and I thought that the people would show up to explain it to him. It's like he can't traffic me into poverty just so that people answer something to him. He's disgusting. He wastes how much time and money thinking about him. He shouldn't. He should just kill himself or stop doing that. What else? What else? What else? Has no chance ever with me. Has no chance ever with me. I've said it already. I've said it to at least one of them that I'm seeking the death penalty for them. They're disgusting. They took me hostage in my own bedroom in my parents' home as a child, steal my money so I can't date them. They go on raping people and say, Arlie no me quiere. And then people are like, I hate that Arlene. Why won't she love you? They're stupid. They're stupid. People say that that's the modus operandi of a pesetero that doesn't love himself. To not explain to people that he grew up poor compared to other people. Define poor. What else? 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 I'm bored. I'm bored. When I'm financially stable and my vagina is wet, I plan to travel the planet and meet people, ideally polyamorous. Oh, I shall say hi to Bill. And Donald Trump has said that the official language in the United States is English. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. On Facebook, I should take a break from posting on Facebook. Sometimes it says you posted too much. Today, take a break. when they've literally like beaten me up every day. Those asquerosidades. What else? 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 And one. Who's gifting me money today? I'm bored. Tomorrow, not today. Your husband's dick is always up in my eyes. I don't know why. That's what they do. They rape, they get raped, and then they want to tell one, well, is it because I'm better than you? They don't understand dating. Something so basic as dating, they don't understand that yet. They're embarrassing. Even casual sex is dating. They're embarrassing. So gross. Ew, 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 ew. You can decapitate everyone that stays in my homes without my permission. That steals my vehicles, that gets in the way of me receiving money. They're disgusting. Ew, 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 ew. In the meantime, I want to watch TV today. What else? He's just taking content and being literally begging for a hotel stay so that eventually he'll be like, she panhandle on the internet. Do you see her living in hotels? Nowadays, she panhandle to do that. Well, he steals my money y se saca un moco y se lo come, and that's why he doesn't date me. Porque creo que Andrew se come los mocos, se caga encima, usa diapers at night todavía. So he steals my money, and then he's a pesterer that goes on telling people chisme that people don't want to hear. Drama that he causes ill. He wants to be drama king. So disgusting, so embarrassing. Una basura, una asquerosidad, todo un asco. Disgusting. The weed crowd never. I don't like illegal substances. I'm bored. I don't want to say like Kim Jong right now, or do I want to say like Grand Hyatt possibly. Who's gifting me money? Oh, I'm sending my girlfriend making TikToks. The library is open until 8. Yay. What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. You can decapitate me, homie. The sort of sons that rape me, that steal my money, that get in the way of me receiving money, they cause conflict in other parts of the world, so I leave the planet, so I leave the internet. They're embarrassing. They're embarrassing. They're so gross. Supposedly, based on my heritage, there's a lot of people there that look like me, so he's killing them. What else? 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 Some of my what is that? Relatives in Puerto Rico joke that I'm Chica from the Czech Republic to a lot of people in physic traits. What else? 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 So he goes on listening everything. It's like because she won't take me out on a date, everything that I hear about her, I'm gonna use it against her and kill her. I can't do that. It's embarrassing. Ew, 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 ew. My siblings because they're like on house arrest. They're like, well, 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 we will see how this pans out. Hopefully, our sister dies. So there's a reason why we're on house arrest. They could be on house arrest with paperwork and everything that they don't need to show to anyone. Meaning they have like a limited amount of places that they can visit, and then they're on the internet all day killing people. What else? What else? What else? Or even their internet activity is limited, and they find a way to have conversations with people. What else? What else? What else? I'm sharing my GoFundMe campaign with people online. I may have been one of the ones. Who cares? I need money for food. Not like a whole scenario of where have they been all this time where I've been starving. Ew. Ew, 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 ew. I'm bored. I'm bored. When I'm financially stable, I plan to travel, I plan to meet people, ideally polyamorous. What else? 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 I'm bored. I'm bored. You can decapitate everyone that steals from me so I can date. That's like thousands of people. I'm trying to coordinate the killing of thousands of people that steal from me, that get in the way of Jaden Kanani living with me, that get in the way of me reading a book because they want to rape me, or Jaden, or Kaylani. That's mostly everyone in my family of origin. They're an embarrassment. They're so gross. They're sex addicts and they're porn addicts. So if one calls them an embarrassment, they've conditioned themselves to turn it into a sexual act for themselves. They're immune to seeing a relative being in pain due to starvation. They kill it. If the FBI didn't exist, I've been told several times that I would just be killed like I'm nothing. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? They don't know how to buy land. They don't know how to attend college without comparing themselves to other people. They're disgusting. Ew, 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 ew. I just shop at Trader Joe's today. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? In the meantime, congratulations to la Buckets y Yandel Malavé. Y los Buckets on their arranged marriage decades ago, possibly. They're all shit. What else? What else? I have my own life to preserve. And they're sometimes try to control the money that comes into one, trying to be like, but I was there first. They're stupid. They don't know that one can have any polvo out there and then have a petty fuck with them. Had they not been so abusive, and I'm referring to the dick here. I don't like any of these females. I've never had sex with a woman. These females are disgusting. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. What else? I miss dating. I miss lonely. Andrew went on to ask Dandel decades ago that if I have babies, who should they go to instead of me? And then they look at me and said, I'm being pro, so I'm gonna have to answer. Like, damn, I feel like they're having sex with someone the other day that I thought, are they making a baby too? Andrew's disgusting. He's like, I'm gonna ruin your marriage with John Del always. Ha ha ha. So behind the scenes, he's trying to get me to that point. John Del specifically said that doesn't mean that that baby that Erling has goes to that person. I just was pro Erling. I'm so sorry. One day you'll, or if you have already gone through that, you'll be asked questions that you will feel inclined to respond to, even though you think it's ridiculous that you're having your time wasted that way. But let's you're a time waster. What else? 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 So they're trying to traffic me into. not only poverty, but behind the scenes for me to give away my kids to whoever John there said the Edgar had baby making love with. It seemed like, but what they they're trying to change feelings from other people. It's disgusting. Yo esto nunca lo invitaría a María if not a decade ago. Porque es lo que are chismosean. They're like, and then pester and be like, so guys, are you together after you're not marrying after les hace el my fault then. That's their bread and butter. Disgusting. They don't understand sex at all. They don't understand any concept. They're embarrassing. Ew, 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 ew. In the meantime, I'm staring. I'm sending my girlfriend is something to be called. You can decapitate John Malavé, who's stealing my money, getting away with money, staying in my homes without my permission, and or stealing my vehicles. It's May 19, 2025. You can give me money today. ASAP. It's dating Miss Kingdom. I'm bored. Honestly, based on what I've heard from him, I don't ever go on to find out anything about her. She could be a victim, and he's trying to get me to kill her. Otra más, another come bucket possibly, but that could just be him having terrorized her when she was a child. What else? What else? What else? Did they call for some time because I'm water? I'll be like the first person in this. And what cancer sales and whatever in the cancer, I guess I'll make the cancer. What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. These people are terrorists. They're so embarrassing. What else? Who follows Genesis USA? Or who do they follow? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Something we go find me can to the phone. Email. I'm bored. I'm bored. What else? What? I'm gonna compensate these people that helped my siblings kill Gloria Nilsson because my parents supposedly didn't take them to Disney after my birth. So they're not gentlemen, particularly the ones that are older than me already hated me prior to my birth, and they're upset that I fell in love with them, but I don't pursue them because they extremely don't want a relationship with me. They want to kill me. So they just want to see me suffer. They're disgusting. They already made the decision to kill me, most likely, before my birth. Still trying to steal my generational wealth that I don't have access to. My grandpa may have left me Bitcoin. The Andrew may have stolen from me, most likely, possibly, or maybe Albert, or maybe Leach. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. My dad suffers from extreme anxiety. So he's like hoping that these people will back off from stealing from me, or that I seek achieve the death penalty for them, for him to give me my money and let people give me money. He believes these people will become pickpocketers. They're disgusting. They're worse than hillbillies. What else? 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 I'm bored. I'm bored. Anyways, I'm gonna stay at a hotel today. Feels good. Give me money. I have to clean my apartment. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Not worth pursuing to me. I'm very much into human rights. He's much into combating. What else? What else? What else? What else? What? So they want everyone to be quiet. As trying to turn everyone mute. But it is like I'm so confused. Someone has a conversation, someone is not a gift. And then I can mock Arlene for sending that to people as a beggar. Forgive me, I may have done the same thing to someone. Like I'm an artist, I paint. And I also look at the clouds today. Someone gifted me money. So was I a gift or a reverse I gift? Doesn't understand any forms of killing. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? No time. I have to tell that to a judgment something like that. Even they have to every home use understands the sons are raping the selling and you didn't go in your same. What else? What else? What else? What else? Let me cook for myself. What else? They're trying to traffic me into my parents' home so that Angela Jones can feel like she's hotness and she's out there dating. Even the company Angela Jones, she's disgusting. They want to traffic me into my parents' home for them to rape me, to put me in a wheelchair later on a motor, for them to vape me. They possibly have accumulated a list of people that want to vape me if they charge money to do that in the past. They're embarrassing. They're disgusting. I'm bored. I'm bored. I'm bored. Palestinians can live. Palestinians. And I don't have electricity on the cooking. Oh, maybe I'll do that one. I guess it's essentially next week if I haven't received money gifted to me. I'll bring my thank you something. Oh, I laugh at those cum buckets without knowing anything much about them then that they're a cum bucket. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? So I don't need to go on to find out what they do privately ever. What else? What else? What else? What else? They're embarrassing. They're so gross. They don't respect themselves. They don't respect anyone. They think they're above respect, above the United Nations. They're embarrassing. Yeah. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez Sorensen's sons that say that Joanna Vargas is more Hollywood than I am due to her heritage, so still deserves all the gala dresses and all that. And because I'm more UN based on my heritage, I need to be like the peacekeeper. Muerta de hambre, que es like que se come hasta la bolsa. You can decapitate Joanna Varga, que es una asquerosidad basura trying to rape me when I was well over 18. She showed up with Albert and said, I know you don't like me, but do you want to have a threesome with us? He steals my money so I can date him. She knows that too. They're just bragging that they're together, like animals on top of each other. Nayelis Vargas is a very baby, que asco. Que diente tan feo. Que diente tan feo los de Nayelis Vargas. Did they turn her into a meth addict? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? You can decapitate Albert Suarez. Is that his name? Alberto, whatever. That steals from me, that gets in the way of me receiving money. So I can date him and then he sticks to who he loves. But he doesn't want me to be happy either with people that will love me. He's embarrassing. I've had a better life than he has. Ever, always. What else? What else? What else? What else? They're cum bucket materials, all disgusting cum bucket seekers. Una asquerosidad. They're embarrassing. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? They burn people. They're disgusting. They think that they're pimps. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? They tried to sell one too. One of them has tried already. The Anthony Capisano guy raped me and had people rape me in my own home because I refused to take him out on a date. He says, well, that's what she must like. The hard life. Then no one wants the hard life. Ever. They're embarrassing. They're so gross. Ew, ew, ew. He told me that he will have a car run over Richie decades ago, and he did that according to Richie. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? They think they're next in line to my vagina. They're next in line for the death penalty, hopefully. No one has first dibs on my vagina, and they don't want to accept it. They're disgusting. They're worse than animals. What else? 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 Where is that? Not his babysitter. Even his own mother doesn't love him, supuestamente. This was a birth that his dad supposedly had because it's like if Eileen doesn't want to get pregnant from me right now, I'm just gonna have a baby somewhere else. And then they want to talk about like Jaden and Kehlani could have Richie's age if Edgar and Eileen would have impregnated each other back then. I get to decide when to have my baby, is not them. They put so much stress onto me. Like I wanted five, I only wanted two, so I got. I don't think of Jaden's and Kehlani's birth order being altered of anything Jaden Kehlani or Jaden and Kehlani. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. You can decapitate Richie Hill. That traffic me into poverty, trying to rape me, neither. Then they had a whole storyline of his actual wife being a homeless shelter, and then he was going to compare who would get out of there quicker. As if I don't have anything better to do with my life. They're embarrassing. They're so gross. They're embarrassing. They're so Lord. Who's gifting me money today? Anyways, I finished this croissant. I'm bored. Example of me, they're trying to kill me. And they have acquired people that join them in that sentiment, which is embarrassing that they recruit people with the excuse that for that dick they'll do anything. They're embarrassing, no se quieren ella misma. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm born. What else? Who's gifting me money today? That's hilarious. That's awesome. Who's gifting me money? They think that I'm gonna change who I am. Oh, but because they're illegal prostitutes, including the dick. They're like, we want to see what she turns into when she remembers that. We want to see what she turns into when she remembers that. What do you mean she just visits the supermarket, gets food, dances, paints for everyone? They're embarrassing. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Of Homeland Security, these people that I grew up around are disgusting. They're embarrassing. When I'm financially stable, I plan to travel the planet and meet people. Ideally from the harassment. Nos toca aceptar que el tiempo vuela. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I've tagged the FBI in this post. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Currently working on this puzzle. And this reminds me that there's some posts that I need to update the info on. What else? What else? What else? What else was gifting me money today? You can decapitate Luis Lorenzo that tried to rape me when I was 14. These disgustingness have possibly facilitated that to him by drugging me. Destitution del and Gloria Nirsa to drug me, for people to rape me. Those people that were there during my toddler exploration years. That's disgusting on his behalf. Ew, ew, ew. Una basura, una asquerosidad. I believe sometimes that he's the culprit because I've done things that I'm not proud of around him. Like he has a gun to my head and Edgar raped Katie in my presence due to Albert's decision to instead of taking me out a date. or waiting for me to be stable financially to take him out on a date while he steals my money. They're the dumbest people on the planet. They want to go down like that. What else? 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 That's not what I meant. What else? I'm bored. I am bored. I I am bored. Why can I not access this? It's so weird. They're emulating because Glorianisa stopped taking me to orgies around that time. So they're like, we must be stuck. Madeline Acevedo Lorenzo lo viola a ellos todavía. And they're like, wow, she's one of the oldest. So she sent me nudes. And then she got a phone before Arlene. So she sent me that Grika picture that we all want from a woman that's older than us. So she's like, well, guys, if you're going to be with me, you may not have time to be with Arlene. Stop talking to me about her. And because they don't, she's like, well, maybe you should kill her. And they're like, I'm on it. I'm killing her because I can't run out of nudes from you. You can decapitate Madre Acevedo Lorenzo, so tipo da un asco, una basura. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo's sons that rape me, that steal my money, that get in the way of me receiving money. They go on seeking for advice from cum buckets. They're disgusting. You can decapitate Yandel Malave if he stays in my home. Else. I'm updating some of my videos because I haven't been able to keep up with that sometimes. What else? What else? What else? They think that I'm a fugitive that needs to be reported to the FBI, so they're like literally waiting for me to get arrested just for being pretty. They try to put people in jail that don't agree to have sex with them. They like if we could change your rules. You're stupid, you're gross, you're disgusting, you're a grown man of age already. You should have been doing the right thing since you were little. Anyways. So I don't want to waste my time with this comeback asquerosidad. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? They're disgusting. They're disgusting. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez and his sons that rape me, that steal my money, that get in the way of me receiving money. They stay in my homes without my permission. They steal my vehicle so I can date. They want to put me literally in a wheelchair and say, okay, pick one of us to start with. You can't be out and about hugging someone new that I don't know about anything, or it might be my lover. For you to start dating, you need to be, even if it's in a wheelchair, una camilla, casi muriéndote, I'll give you oxygen. Pick one of us to start with. ¿Qué carajo es eso? And then it moves over to Poland, Italia, gets out of a hotel room, finds someone, says, let's go on a date tonight. They don't want to inconvenience each other so badly that they're new ones to each other. They're disgusting. I wouldn't ever show up behind the scenes to see Edgar with these pesters or Jandel there. Ew, 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 ew. They already have one secure dick and or vagina every day, so all they do is try to kill people. They're embarrassing. I wouldn't ever pursue someone based on those traits. He's trying to give me Alzheimer's or even worse, amnesia for him to rape me. He has no right to ruin my health. My siblings live like they're in house arrest. So disgusting. Okay, even they're traveling right now, that doesn't count. They steal my money to do that. They're embarrassing. They're so gross. They're stupid. They're stupid. So, what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? They're like, dale, 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 ensáyame para yo irme de entonces de party. My siblings are trying to rape me. They're disgusting. Ew, 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 ew. They're on a power trip. No. Ew, 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 ew. Anyways, I'm trying to coordinate thousands of people to be killed and or jailed because some could go to jail. I've heard for stealing from me, for getting in the way of receiving money, for staying in my homes with all my permission, for stealing my vehicles, for causing Jaden and Kehlani to be separated from me. I don't ever get fixated on those people getting the death penalty or getting jail time. I'm not the rehabilitator. They don't belong in my life, in my mind ever. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I am bored. They're sex addicts. Very gross. I'm bored. I'm bored. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. Ooh, Memorial Day weekend is happening soon. I wonder what I'll do on my birthday, June 19, 2025. Oh, that's so good. That has happened sometimes while I was in Utah. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What is boiler room? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I missed Tatum. I missed mommy. That's what I thought. I'm bored. What else? I'm gonna visit Jane and Kaylani in Tampa next week. Who's gifting me money? Some people keep up with. Far is the judge into giving these people the death penalty, or saying she has no money to sue you? You're gonna have to give her some money. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. He wants to kill me because I wouldn't pick a specific way for me to wear that he could match. And then what if he then would start being dressed in a way that then he would be more of like, well, you're dressed like that because of our name. He always on okay. Of every brand that he wears. For that reason. For being a rapist, murderer, and thief. Needing these, I don't know when they expire. Coming up by right. These people live for se acordó de mami, se acordó de papi. They live for shoutouts. They're like, she don't have time to suck my dick, then she better live out of shoutouts to people. Make me look important. So important, no one comments. He creates fake accounts. Oh! He creates fake accounts and comments trying to give himself importance. Oh, people think that. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Yes, I laugh at them. They're disgusting and ridiculous. They're embarrassing, so gross. Ew, ew, they steal my money. They get in the way of your same money. They stay in my homes without my permission. They steal my vehicles. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? El video de chisme, un asqueroso, un puerco, nosy as fuck. Wants to live as if there's no walls and he knows everything about what everyone is trying to kill us all. Tries to use me for terrorism. And people are used to be like, you're temporarily mad at your dad, but then you know in your brain that your dad is not the bad one. It's Andrew that isn't even your dad, he wasn't even a part of your life. That creates terror onto your dad, therefore onto you. And you're like, Maldita say, I just want to take myself out today and around the street to do that. Here's my dad so weak. Maybe no one can come bucket. Surrounded by come buckets. And they're like, we just came to visit. Porque yo quiero matar a Andrew. Or te apuntas. Like, I don't kill in self defense. Like, I'd have to be attacked. And they're like, what if we have him attack you? I'm like, that would be terrible. That would. What if he rehabilitated himself? You can't provoke him for me to kill him in self defense. Today could have been like his last day of him being stupid. And then if you provoke him, like someone will know, he'll make it known. In the moment I've heard that situation happens, and that's not stress that I want to carry. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. I want to order food for myself. And I don't know who's giving me money today. What else? You can decapitate Liam Baker that I didn't want to see in 2020 is disgusting. What else? 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 I'm born. Madeline always works. Stone works if I order mashed potatoes and veggies. I do. Salmon is good. What else? I what is it? A breakfast taco early this morning. I'm gonna get banned from posting on Facebook today, possibly. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? They think that I wanted to see a fraile a ver cuán grande creció. That's not my goal in life. Yo ni me recordaba de él. Qué lindo both of them are. They're stupid. They think that I'm like Catholic Margarita de las Correas de Popular Mechanic. Real simple, que se recuerda de toda la gente que she's met. And instead of having sex, goes through life and being like, thank you, thank you, thank you for that time that I met you. They're trying to hold me back from having sex, but they're gonna get so tired of me not committing to someone under the poverty while I'm under the poverty level because I'm always having sex with myself and rejecting them. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm born. What else? Guadalupe. What is the shrine? What is that church's name? Lady of the Guadalupe Shrine on Facebook. Oh, there it is. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? They think that they're being my tour guide, and now finally I'm having the West Side of San Antonio. I had already been there. I usually like whenever I'm in a city, I get my vehicle or in a bus and I visit. There's taxis or Uber right now. I even posted a picture of me. Oh, take her to the west side. That's where. Oh, he thinks that I'm gonna literally get killed by someone in a bandana. No fucking way. Pero qué carajo es eso? Una pérdida de tiempo, curiosidad. He thinks that I'm due to my mother's heritage. So like that he wants to recreate every movie with me. He's embarrassing. I'm not his Barbie. Kill him right now. Kill him. Ew. What else? 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 Our Lady of Guadalupe, maybe. Our Lady of Guadalupe. Nathan Reed is trying to kill me to become Gloria Lisa Fernando's daughter. Because she was a struggler. That while her parents were working, she was always around me. So she's like, if I can take her to this place, I can have a better family, right? What else? What else? What else? What else? They're embarrassing. So they don't have what I'm So these before the can do water to the Well, we'll see how far we can get you to that goal. What else? I can find that. I can find that on Facebook. And it would be not for the things, but one of them there. Benjamin feels like that I plan to travel the planet, meet people ideally for the embarrassment. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about that. The things that I laugh about him with my new boyfriend